On this edition of inCycle, we look back at the struggles Esteban Chaves had at the 2018 Giro d'Italia.
En Roma creo que lo recordaré siempre porque fui el último ciclista en cruzar la línea de meta con la ambulancia detrás de mí.
And Kiwi cross-country mountain biker Sam Gaze talks of his road ambitions for the future.
With the road, my dream is to be one day riding the Flanders or the Roubaix or the world's biggest races, and so after Tokyo, it's a decision I'm going to have to make.
But first, the return of Lizzie Diegnan to the UCI Women's World Tour. While Lizzie Diegnan had planned on returning to the pro peloton in 2019, few thought she'd be back so soon. The former world road race champion lined up with her new Trek Segafredo squad for the first time at the Amstel Gold Race, a mere 7 months on from the birth of daughter Orla.
Obviously having a baby is pretty life-changing, and I didn't have any idea what I was letting myself in for. Life has been just mad really since the arrival of Orla, but in such a good way, and I never really expected it to be so good. I'm just really enjoying motherhood, definitely. The only thing that I was really sure about was that I wanted to be a mum and I wanted to start a family. I suppose prior to becoming a mum, prior to becoming pregnant, I always thought it would be the end of my career, and I always assumed that I would be fine with just being a mum and that being my sole focus. But actually, when I found myself in that position, I realised that that wasn't going to be the case, that I was still going to be this determined person that I have always been, and I wanted to continue my career. So fairly quickly I realised that I wanted to try and do both. I suppose I feel passionately about being able to prove to women that it's possible to be a working mum and be a great mum at the same time. And I'm passionate as well about being a role model. That I suppose you're always told that you're a role model growing up in sport, and the last couple of years I've been told that I'm a role model, etc. But I don't really feel comfortable with it. But now I feel that I'm in a position where I do get to be a role model for other women, and I feel proud of that, and I hope Orla will be proud of that in the future too. My fitness coming back has really surprised me. Like, my base fitness returned really quickly. I think a lot of that is because I rode quite a lot in pregnancy. I didn't train as such, I was just riding my bike and keeping active and healthy, and also like the motivation was back. So regaining that base fitness was actually relatively easy. I think the last couple of weeks building the intensity back in has been a challenge, and like my sprint power and stuff isn't quite where it was before, but I've got to be realistic. It's only 7 months ago that I gave birth, so I'm confident that that will come back. I feel a little bit like the new girl at school. It's kind of strange because I've been in this environment so much before, but then everything is brand new, and I feel like I'm getting to look at it with fresh eyes and motivated eyes. Like, I've done this for the last 15 years, since I was 15 years old. It's been my life, and sometimes that can become a bit mundane and a bit monotonous, and you don't really have the same passion in the way that when you first started and you're dreaming of these goals, and then you achieve them and you're left a little bit lost. But now I feel like I want to achieve those things again in a very different way. So my motivation is back, so it's exciting.
And look who's back. Lizzie Diegnan, the former world champion, back and attacking the race.
So I was racing for Boels Almonds for 5 years, and they were obviously one of the most successful teams in the world, and leaving them was not an easy decision. But when Trek approached me when I was pregnant and seemed really excited about the prospect of working with me and bringing a new team, which I think women's cycling was desperately in need of, I jumped at the chance. Everything about the ideas behind the team, the enthusiasm as well, like working with an American team, working with an American brand, and all the staff that I came across, everything just felt like it clicked, and sometimes you just have to follow your instincts, and my instinct was it was the right time to move. Everything on the team is really impressive. It's like, wow, this is going to be the dream team. We have some superb talent, some superb athletes on the team, and you need that direction, and we have that. So I'm really excited to get started with everybody. Yeah, I feel like I'm in the dream team.
The Brit has no firm targets for the initial stages of her comeback, but with September's World Championships taking place in her native Yorkshire, a second title is firmly on her mind.
The World Championships at the end of the year is definitely my target, and nothing that I do in the run-up to that is going to compromise my my peak performance at the world title. So it was a tough decision actually to come back or not to come back, but training was going so well, and there's only so much you can do in training before you need to get back in at the deep end and get that race rhythm going. I can't really replicate that myself, so I wanted to come back and kind of push that, because I have 7 months now since I gave birth and 5 months till the World Championships, and I've made this huge jump in the first 7 months, and I think in 5 months with racing, then I'm going to be able to be back where I was.
The 2018 Giro d'Italia sprung many a surprise, and one of the subplots came from Mitchelton Scott's Esteban Chaves. The Colombian rode the highs and agonized tremendous lows after suffering allergy reactions and later being diagnosed with the Epstein-Barr virus, subsequently keeping him sidelined for 8 months.
En Roma creo que lo recordaré siempre porque fui el último ciclista en cruzar la línea de meta con la ambulancia detrás de mí. Es duro, y es esa la relación que tengo con Italia. Un momento increíble. Y otro momento desastroso.
Yates and Chaves, the tandem for Mitchelton Scott that have literally taken this race apart today. Fantastic scenes here on the slope of Mount Etna. A spectacular finale to stage 6 of the Giro d'Italia. This is what the Giro is all about. Some of the most unpredictable racing you would ever wish to see. Chaves takes the win from Yates. Wonderful stuff from Mitchelton Scott.
Empezamos de una manera muy bonita, lo que pasó en el Etna y el que tuviéramos la camiseta en el equipo, la camiseta de montaña, fue realmente espectacular. Luego lo que me pasó fue difícil.
The climb that started off today wasn't a small one at all. It was a nasty, spiteful ascent.
He's hurting, and there is still 100 kilometers to go for this group.
It's sad, isn't it? For whatever reason, allergies or not, but now he finds himself at the back.
Cuando tú vas creciendo a lo largo de tu vida, llega un momento en el que prendes varicela, que son esas ronchas rojas que te salen en el cuerpo cuando eres niño, que te rasca un montón. Entonces tienes varicela, ese es un virus que te entra en el cuerpo. Todos los seres humanos tenemos diferentes tipos. Normalmente solo le da a los seres humanos una vez en la vida, pero por algunas otras circunstancias tu sistema inmunológico está muy bajo y esto puede volver a actuar. Y eso fue lo que pasó conmigo, con 2 tipos de virus que normalmente uno tiene en el cuerpo pero nunca actúan hasta que el sistema inmunológico está muy deprimido. Y se deprime porque nosotros viajamos mucho, nos ponemos mucha presión, porque entrenamos mucho, porque hacemos mucha dieta. Entonces, por tratar de hacer más, se hizo menos.
He's moving towards the back of this group now. No. This isn't good at all. Back, we are now seeing he's looking down. The composure has gone, and the body says there's not much left at all.
Habíamos pedaleado mucho por la camiseta de Simon, estábamos muy cerca de conseguirlo. Habíamos pedaleado ese día por más de 6 horas haciendo todas estas subidas imposibles en Italia y llegar y tener la noticia de que Simon había perdido la camiseta me quebró totalmente y lloré. Al final nos convertimos todos como una familia y cuando un miembro de tu familia está herido, también te duele a ti y eso fue lo que pasó ese día. Bueno, pues al final somos seres humanos también, ¿no? Y así como nos reímos y disfrutamos y somos fuertes y somos unos campeones, también lloramos y tenemos miedos y estamos asustados y pasamos por momentos difíciles y eso es lo que nos hace seres humanos y yo creo que también eso nos hace los buenos deportistas que llegamos a ser en algún momento de la vida. Entonces no hay que tener miedo de decirlo. El que no lo diga o el que diga que no lo siente es un mentiroso. Tenemos que empezar de cero y así vamos creciendo poco a poco, con paciencia, con amor y algo que es muy importante, disfrutando. Nos parece normal viajar por todo el mundo, nos parece normal estar en un equipo, nos parece normal ir a una competencia y eso no es normal, nosotros somos unas personas afortunadas. Hay veces los ciclistas somos muy apartados o muy fríos o muy cuadriculados con todo, pero siempre llegan mensajes en las redes sociales, parte del equipo, de todas las personas que están pendientes de nosotros y quería agradecerles.
You know, anything with two wheels, I absolutely love. You know, I just love the thrill of going fast, and I love, you know, just anything that rotates. I started out with motocross when I was really young. It got too expensive for the family, and so that soon transformed into BMX. Raced BMX for a long time. Unfortunately, I crashed too much and I wasn't so good at it. So started up road cycling and mountain biking, and yeah, at first it was more the road cycling bike. I was, you know, part of the national under-17 program for a couple races and did quite well in some of the domestic races. And you know, my dream was to be a professional cyclist. I didn't think I was quite cut out for the road at the time, and so I had the opportunity to go to the Mountain Bike World Championships. Went along and got 46th, 9.5 minutes back off the winner. And then, you know, I sort of thought of myself, I believed that I could make a job out of it. You know, I knew that I could improve a lot. And so came back the next year and somehow did the improving I needed to. Won the Junior World Cup and, you know, flunked out by the end of the season. I was absolutely burnt out living out of a car and traveling around. But yeah, that was the dream, and it just springboarded from there, really.
Still only 23 years of age, Sam Gaze is already a force to be reckoned with in the world of cross-country mountain biking. With multiple under-23 national victories, Commonwealth gold and a World Cup win, it seems the future is very bright for this strong-headed Kiwi.
Under 23 years were super good to me. You know, the first year under 23, I podiumed at a World Cup and a few other things, and you know, I really thought that it was, you know, well, not easy, but you know, it was good. You know, I felt like in my own skin there. Third year under 23, I was fortunate enough to win the world title in Nova Mesto against two very strong Frenchies and Marcel, the Swiss guy. I got moved up to elite for the next season, which was my last year under 23, and it was a shock for sure. You know, it was almost like where there was two guys in the space of a minute, there was 20 guys in elite, and it's just so close and hardly fought.
But it hasn't been plain sailing for the young rider, with his first year in the elites proving to be tough after Sam caused controversy at the Commonwealth Games for making a rude gesture at fellow Kiwi Anton Cooper when Cooper attacked Sam after a mechanical.
It's something which I've learned about, and I sort of, I sat there and wished that I never won Com Games. I sat there and wished I was never good, because of the slip up and so forth. But it was something which I can almost look back on now and be grateful for. It gave me a whole new different perspective on the sport and myself, and a lot of the time I sat there and wished I didn't win, but now it's, I'm happy. I've learned a lot and I've grown a lot from it. This year has been a bit of a challenging one so far. I raced Cape Epic with Jaroslav Kohavi for Invest Tonga Specialised, and first long stage or second day in the race, we were about 20 k's from the line and 6 of us left in the stage, and we were going down a slight downhill, reasonably fast jeep track, a bit overgrown. I quickly looked down at my computer to see how far we had to race, and as I looked down, the branch grabbed my handlebar, and just before I knew it, I was on the ground. I mean, it's easy to look back and think about it being, a bit of a disappointment so far, but it takes one good day and then everything's a success, so that's what I'm just hoping for. The Olympics is a funny one. I remember my first, the only one I've been to was Rio, and it was this big glamorous, Olympics, and everyone always wants to go to the Olympics, and I got there, the form of my life, got sick, I brushed my teeth with tap water, and had the most agonising 2.5 weeks of my life, To win a world title and to win Olympics is the two major things for me. Tokyo's, look, I'm putting all my eggs into one basket with Tokyo. I really want to win that race. The depth in the mountain biking at the moment is incredible, and so to be able to win these races, it's no easy feat, so yeah, we'll see. I'll prepare best I can, and then if it's enough, it's enough. With the road, my dream is to be one day riding the Flanders or the Roubaix or the world's biggest races, and so after Tokyo, it's a decision I'm going to have to make, and I'm looking forward to making that and seeing what my options are. But for sure, you see guys who go from the mountain bike or the cross to the road. I mean, you've got the two biggest superstars, younger superstars coming from the cross right now, Matthew and Van Aert. And also with Fusang and Cadel Evans, and Sagan himself came from the mountain bike, and so you see it as possible. Not easy, for sure. These guys are all exceptions, they're all exceptional riders. But yeah, I mean, if it's a possibility, I'm going to try, and yeah, I won't stop until hopefully I get there. Funny enough, there was no plan B for me. There was, I was 6 years old going around telling people I'm going to be the best guy in the world, and so there was no option, for me it was, this is my dream and this is what I'm going to do everything I can to get there. Ended up working out a treat, so now I'm fortunate enough to be riding bikes as a job and racing the best bike races in the world, and it's, it's something where I couldn't picture myself doing anything else in life.
The Tour de Romandie has always been a popular event in the calendar for those with Grand Tour ambitions, and inCycle caught up with the people who know the race inside out.
Alors, le Tour de Romandie existe depuis 1948. C'est une course évidemment avec une certaine histoire, avec un grand palmarès, puisque la plupart des grands champions l'ont gagné. Un coureur qui peut gagner le Tour de Romandie dans sa jeune carrière, il est prometteur, après il faut qu'il soit endurant.
It seems to work that you go to the Tour of Romandie and then go to altitude for a training block, go to the Dauphiné, and then that is the pathway that leads to the Tour de France. The winner of the last 8 tours has ridden the Tour of Romandie and the Dauphiné in preparation.
lorsqu'on est capable de gagner un Tour de Romandie, on sera peut-être capable un jour de gagner un Tour de France. Parce qu'il y a tout dans un Tour de Romandie, il y a un prologue, il y a de la montagne, il y a parfois un contre-la-montre par équipe lorsque le Tour de France en propose un derrière. Donc il y a énormément de coureurs qui veulent y participer pour se tester. On dit souvent que le Tour de Romandie c'est un mini Tour de France, mais c'est un peu vrai.
Although riding well at the Tour de Romandie doesn't guarantee Tour de France success, those planning on contending often test themselves on the Swiss parcours first.
Un programme qui permet aux meilleurs coureurs de venir se tester sur le Tour de Romandie. Aujourd'hui, le test est vraiment grandeur nature, il donne un maximum pour le gagner. C'est aussi des coureurs qui aiment avoir à leur palmarès maintenant le Tour de Romandie, donc c'est une notoriété pour nous qui est importante. Et il est évident que c'est une course qui fait partie aujourd'hui des courses majeures du World Tour, donc les coureurs veulent la gagner, donc pour l'organisateur, c'est une belle reconnaissance.
This year, Geraint Thomas is going from Team Sky, Team Ineos, as it will change to before the Tour of Romandie. He's going to the Romandie, and that's what he did last year, and that's going to work from this year, I presume. Chris Froome, on the other hand, is taking a different build-up, and he's going to the Tour of the Alps, which it's around the same time of year. It offers similar kind of challenges. So, whether that puts a hex on Chris Froome's Tour ambitions or whether it helps Geraint Thomas, we will see. If somebody finds a better way to the Tour de France, that may set a new fashion. What is absolutely necessary, it seems, is that riders need to pick about 4 or 5 stage races through the spring. Maybe it's Paris-Nice or Tirreno, then either Tour of the Basque Country or Catalonia. Romandie is a very important one, then the Dauphiné. Tour of Romandie seems to be perfectly placed in the middle of all those to offer the best way at the moment.
That's all for now, but do join us next time. Until then, keep up to date on social media.